TMS is an acronym for Transportation Management Software. Why do you need one? Or do you? Do you run or plan to start running a trucking company with your own motor carrier authority? Or perhaps you're planning to start a freight brokerage? How much does a TMS cost? These are questions that business owners or planners in the transportation industry have to figure out. Let's face it, the fact is no matter how big or small your company is, someone has to manage the process from cradle to grave. Transportation management can be a complex challenge. The transportation industry is a heavily regulated industry. Just a few things that come to my mind. You've got motor carriers insurance, certificates that have to be managed and kept up to date, credit checks, driver information, truck numbers, trailer numbers, telephone numbers, commodities, special commodities, permits, contact numbers, VIN numbers, equipment types, hazmats, and 100 other items that need to be maintained in an orderly fashion. Hi, my name is Kyle. I'm an operations manager for Interstate Transport Service and founder of iKai Logistic Partners. We provide motor carrier services throughout North America. In this video, I will share information about transportation management, and I will also share a method that we used when we first started called a compendium. I will show you how to build your own compendium, which will ultimately save you a lot of time, money, and energy. So stay tuned. Choosing the right TMS for your trucking company is extremely important. The only way to find a good TMS is to learn the strengths and weaknesses of each brand. The only way to figure that out is to spend time reviewing what each program does, and eventually you will find out what it doesn't do, and sometimes that process takes you down a long road, costing you time, money, and energy. This video will show you some valuable tools that will save you a lot of time, money, and energy to get your company off the ground and running with no monetary costs. It's easy, efficient, and effective. Besides, software programs are only as good as the user behind it. Garbage in will always equal garbage out. With that out the way, I will try to keep this video short as possible. Okay, so here's my compendium. Make sure these passwords are crossed out. Okay, what you'll notice is that I've got a list of my 24 favorite load boards. Okay, and that's out of 100. Now I can always add more, so it looks pretty simple. It looks, pretty basic, like it's just a list, right? Well, you want to take a closer look. This one page actually represents 24 load boards of information. The top board I have in my list holds on an average of about 887,000 loads each day. You may not find that in your TMS. What I have found through my research, without saying any names, integrated links. However, some of these links you have to get integration keys, API add-ons, and before you know it, you feel like you're paying, to build your own system in more ways than one. Not to mention your monthly subscription, which could easily cost you hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars per month. So, as an alternative, you may want to build your own compendium, so take a quick look. As I mentioned, I've got 24 of my favorite, load boards. Okay. I've also got a list of utility sites. So let's go back up to the load board. Give you a quick idea of what this holds. All you have to do is point and click with a compendium. And let me bring this over. Okay, so basically what it also does, it holds in all of the cookies or the information that's needed to actually, sign in. So you can see here, the browser is keeping the email address. Hit next. And the browser will also hold the password. Hit next. So I don't have to type anything. I don't have to remember how to spell any, to get the correct spelling of a website or anything. I just simply find it on my list, point and click. Now, you'll notice with a lot of this happens to be a private digital board. and I can actually go in and I can manage each one of my drivers. I can take a look at my past loads, okay, and take a look at the rates. I can also generate my rate confirmations if I need them for billing, but it keeps all the history of it keeps the saved lanes, and a lot of them work pretty much the same way, whether you're talking about Uber Freight, XPO, JB Hunt, whatever. Okay, but I'm not here to talk about their load boards. I'm here to show you what this compendium does. So I'll go back and give you another example. Here's a subscription board. Let's open that up. For those of you that are in the industry, you're probably familiar with DAT. Okay, same thing. It'll log and keep my credentials. What I like about the subscription is that you can actually, go in and do a quick rate search. Like, for example, if I want to know what is the rate for Manassas, let's say Manassas, Virginia, down to Dallas, Texas, I can always look up my quick rate. And what this is actually showing is within the last 15 days that this is the lane rate. So for 2343 is the average lane rate, and what that tells me is that when I'm going in to search for a load, and let's say I'm looking for, let's do a new load search for vans standard from Manassas to Dallas. Do a quick search, and of course I'm going to search for the highest rate. You'll notice here that the national van average was about 2,400. What you see here is this is a load for 3,300. Well, obviously I would want to book that load as long as that deadhead is pretty close, which the DH is a deadhead, so that's 94 miles away. It's Richmond, Virginia. I'm in Manassas, so yeah, it's about 90 miles away. I would want to book that load for 3,300 because I know it's going above the national average. That would be a good load. Okay, back to the compendium. Okay, same thing with JB Hunt and so forth and so on. What I can also do is list my utility sites. For example, here's a weather radar. If I'm routing somebody, routing a driver, let's say in the DC area, or he's coming out of DC going south, I can actually take a look at not just the radar, but I can actually move it up to see which way the weather is moving and how bad it may be getting. Like if it's headed west, southwest, if it's coming to shore, it looks like it's going offshore, so that's a good thing. All right, so it's another neat feature. So basically, when you're building a compendium, you can make it as complex as you want or as simple as you want. It depends on the type of tools that you need. Another neat program is Keep Trucking. That's what we use for keeping our hours of service. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with that. Basically, I can take a look at my drivers. Okay, I can look at them, find out what their break, their drive, their shift, last activity. I could actually take a look at their logs. Let's just pull this one up. I can take, and we can actually go back in time. Let me see. I didn't use it for a while, so we can actually, okay, so let me go back one. Take a look at here. He's been off duty. D'Angelo. Okay, he's been off duty. So I could take a look at the location history of the trucks. Let's see. Back up, so from Richmond down to Suffolk, this guy had a pickup earlier today. And I also take a look at the vehicle assets. Here's a truck here with the fault code, so we can take a look at what type of faults that particular truck has been throwing. And let me see, anything else that you can think of we can put in here. Factoring company, TMS if you're using one, safer system when you have to look up the authority with other carriers or whoever else is maybe in the transportation industry. My Best Pass, Google Maps, pull that up and actually do a trip plan. Everybody's probably pretty familiar with Google Maps. Let's say we were going to Manassas to, let's say Charlotte, North Carolina. What we can do is we can actually select a better route. Like for this one, it looks like it takes 5 hours, 38 minutes. We could take a shorter route. That one may save some time. It looks like a more direct route. But what I really like about this feature is not only do we know that it's 350 miles from point A to point B, we can also see the amount of approximate time, the drive time, because it breaks down the traffic. So roughly 350 miles will take you almost 6 hours. We can actually go in and actually, if that was a leg, and let's say we had to actually get off a 2-day trip, that's going to end up in Dallas, Texas. We can actually now compute, okay, the first leg and the second leg. So the total will be 1,400 miles, and we know that you can only drive 11 hours per day. You have to spend 10 hours in the sleeper. That means that this whole drive is going to take you roughly 2 days or 2.5 days, depending on how fast the driver was driving. Okay, so that pretty much concludes this video. Again, the purpose of this video was to show how to choose the right TMS transportation management software for your company. And the conclusion was that you have to do the research to find out what meets your needs. There is no one size fits all. I'm just simply showing an alternative to where you can actually build your own compendium to manage, the systems that you need until you find the right package that fits your needs. Taking this route won't slow you down or stop your business. It can only help you make more qualified decisions, because you'll notice what this doesn't do and what this new package may do. It may be worth spending the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, on that subscription for that TMS. So with that, I conclude. Thank you and have a good one.